So these are notes that we kind of took last week. We talked about it in class, but we didn't actually take the notes. So what I want to do is I just wanted to have something out there for you to know how to do this. So we learned two methods last week for finding the y-intercept. So I might see something like this where they give me a table, or instead of writing it like that, they might write it as two ordered pairs. So like -10, -3, and 5, 9. So they might, instead of writing it as a table, they might write it as two ordered pairs. Okay. Either way, in order for me to find the y-intercept, I have to find the slope first. So in this case, I could graph these 2 points and try to eyeball it. So if you wanted to use grid paper and try to eyeball the y-intercept, you can do that too. But for mathematically, the way that we do it is there's two ways. So method number one is the process table. Okay. So for the process table, what we do is we take the same table of information, but instead of making it the little table, we make it a bigger table with our x and our y. And some people write process in the middle, but I like to kind of start building my equation there. So I'm going to have -10, -3, 5, and 9. So I start by finding slope. Okay. So to get from -3 to 9, I add 12. To get from -10 to 5, I add 15. And then I take my delta y over delta x, and I get 12 over 15, which reduces to 4/5. So y equals 4/5 x plus something, because remember my slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, and slope is m. Okay? So now I'm going to use this x and this y to substitute in and figure out what b is. So y is, well, so I'm going to say 4/5 of -10 plus something equals -3. And then I'm going to use my calculator, if I can find my calculator. Here's my calculator. I'm going to use my calculator. I'm just going to put that in my calculator. So remember, if I want to put a fraction, I do alpha y equals. So again, I put the alpha button on y equals and hit enter. Okay, so I'm going to do, right here I have 4/5 times -10, and I get -8. So -8 plus something equals -3. Well, to get from -8 to -3, I've got to go up 5. So I think that's my y-intercept. I think that b is 5. Well, let's try it out. If that's true, then I should get the same answer with this equation. Okay, so 4/5 of 5 plus 5 should equal 9. Well, let's try that. 4/5 of 5 plus 5 gives me 9, and that works. So I know that m is 4/5 and b is 5. And if I wanted to, which we've already done, I could write y equals 4/5 x plus 5. So again, just to recap that, what I did was I expanded the table, I found the slope, and I started filling that part in. So since this is m, my slope is 4/5, I put 4/5 in for m, and then I used this x to see what to kind of guesstimate what I would have to do to get to y. Okay, so that's the first method, process table. The second method is substitution. Okay, so for the substitution method, we're going to take that same set of information, but instead of using a table, so we're going to find slope just like we would before. So like in this case, I would start with this table and I would say, okay, plus 12 plus 15 delta y over delta x is 12 over 15, which is 4/5. So now I know I'm going to substitute into y equals mx plus b. Well, I know what m is. M is 4/5. And I can use one of these coordinates. It doesn't matter which. I like 5 and 9 personally because they're both positive. So I'm going to say x is 5 because this is an x. I'm going to say y is 9. And the only thing that's left, I have an m right here. I have an x right here. I have a y right there. Now all I'm looking for is b. So I'm going to substitute them into this equation. So y is 9. M is 4/5, x is 5, plus b. And sometimes I'll write the b in capital because, you know, I mess it up. So I'm going to look at my calculator. Again, alpha y equals gets me its fractions. 4/5 of 5 is 4. 9 equals 4 plus b. Well, I subtract 4 from both sides to solve this equation. 9 minus 4 is 5 for b. And I got the same answer both times. I got 5 for b both times. So this is how we can find y-intercept when we just have 2 points or we have some points in a table. And again, you only need to use 2 of the points to find that y-intercept.